Good afternoon, traveler. Today I want to talk to you about hijackers. This will probably be in two parts. In this first part, I want to talk to you about what a hijacker is, how they come in contact with you, why they come in contact with you, the effects they can have upon you, and ultimately what will happen if you allow, knowingly or unknowingly, that hijacker to remain with you. First of all, let's start with a very basic definition of what a hijacker is, and then I'll kind of expand upon that definition as we look at what they do and such like that. The bare bones definition of a hijacker is that they're spirits that connect with you because they want to use you. Okay? Now, who are they? They can be earthbound spirits, celestial spirits, or terrestrial spirits. They can be what we call angels, what some people call demons or daemons. It can be the fae, the fairy folk. It could also be other humans. And that's just to name a few of the possible hijackers out there. As I've told you many times, there are so many spirits out there that if I named every one I knew, it wouldn't even tip the iceberg of all the ones that are out there. There's literally millions of them. Now, where do hijackers hang out? You tend to find hijackers in sort of the poles or the extremes. You'll either find them in desolate places, and these are quiet places where no one is, that are sad places, and they'll be hanging out there waiting for somebody to come into that desolate place so that they can get into their energy system. Okay? The other place that they love to hang out, a hijacker, is in crowded places. Because if you get out among lots of people and there's so much going on, then these spirits can connect into your energy field, and sometimes you won't even notice they're there until you begin to suffer symptoms, which I will continue on with in just a bit. And the other place that these spirits hang out is places where something traumatic has happened. And this could be a traumatic death, this could be the scene of a war, this could be the scene of torture, as a scene of murder. Any place where a great trauma has taken place, you're going to find probably at least one hijacker, probably more. When can hijackers get you? Literally any time. But there's certain times that you're more susceptible to being hijacked. And these are the times when you're weakened to any degree, such as when you're sick, when you're greatly fatigued, when you're overwrought emotionally, or when you have an altered state of mind, such as being drunk, stoned, asleep, or in a meditative state. All of these, you're not fully in your complete body. And when you're not, it makes you susceptible to hijackers. For the why, I want you to think about, once more, I gave you a loose definition of what hijackers were. Now let's fill that in a little bit. Hijackers come to feed on your energy field because they're lacking in theirs, and they want to make themselves greater, is the general rule. Now the feeders, the ones that have come strictly to feed, are some of the trickiest. Some of them won't even make themselves known to you. They'll just quietly get into your energy field, and if you don't notice and nobody else notices, they'll just continue to feed off of you. And I'll explain what that feeding will entail, what can happen to you as they feed off of your energy in just a second. But then the other reason that a hijacker will come to you is to immediately harm you. Oh, now this could be for a couple of reasons. Either you've insulted the spirit itself, by perhaps being someplace you shouldn't have been, by breaking some kind of something that it sees as a taboo, or, all the reasons that you could possibly upset a spirit. Or the other reason that they'll come in for for the attack and hit you as hard as they can is if somebody sent them. Now, there's only two reasons somebody sends a spirit to you, and it's either to hurt you or to heal you. Now, with a hijacker, the one that wants to get into your energy system, this is going to be a hurtful spirit. And the reason that he's there is much the same way as if you insulted the spirit, only you've insulted another person, and that person is using his magical pull and his negotiation with spirits to get back at you in some kind of vengeance way. So that's why hijackers show up. Now, the how of it, what do they do? Basically, they blend in with your energy system and they drain you. Now, if it's in an attack form and they've come to attack you, then generally they're going to drain you as fast and as hard as they can. And this could be into doing physical damage to mental damage to spiritual damage, but they're just going to zap you with full force and full power as quickly as they can. If they're the feeding kind, they've come into drawing your energy and to siphon you off slowly. And these are the ones I told you that can pretend to be friendly. They're going to hang around as long as they can, either known or unknown, and they're just going to keep slowly tapping your energy. Once again, mental, spiritual, and physical. What are some of the symptoms that you can point out a hijacker? First of all, depression is a big one. Because once the spirits get in and they're drawing from you, you don't have enough energy to power yourself the way you're supposed to. And when that energy is taken away from you, what's going to happen? It's going to drain your mind. It's going to make you feel depressed. It's going to make you feel hopeless. And then the other thing they can do is drive you mad. Once again, not enough energy going to the brain. Not enough energy to think about what's going on. You can only see things that are going wrong. You're getting frustrated. You don't know how to deal with it. You can't outthink it. And eventually, that way lies madness. Excuse me just a sec. And finally, there's the physical aspect of withering away. It's like no matter what you do, things don't seem to get better. You can go to the doctor and you can get your meds, but the meds don't seem to be helping anymore. You can try your alternative therapies, but you get those, and unless it's somebody that's awake and is able to see that you're being drained by a hijacker, then it doesn't seem to work. You eat better, you read positive books, you try to live your life harder, you go for walks, you do all these things, and yet you can't stop yourself from getting weaker and weaker, and nothing's helping. Now, I'm not saying, listen carefully, these symptoms are not always entailing a hijacker. These are just the symptoms a hijacker brings on. Anybody suffering from these symptoms has to be checked out and things have to be gone through, and you never jump to conclusions about any of this. When you're dealing with spirits, one of those stupidest things you can do is jump to conclusions, because it will bite you one way or the other. But if it is a hijacker that has caused these things, and you don't get the hijacker removed eventually, then eventually what's going to happen is death. I know that seems intense, but it's the logical conclusion, isn't it? Because you've got your energy drained and drained. You can't upkeep anymore. You're feeling weaker and weaker. more and more fatigued, perhaps, more depressed. So even if you have the physical strength, you don't care to use it. You begin to hear funny voices in your head, or you get paranoid and you begin to go mad. All these things being a lack of energy, but all of these things unchecked, without the source being removed and cured, then eventually it's going to lead to death. And it sounds like a somber note to end on here, travelers, and I guess in a sense it is. But remember, this is part 1 of part 2. I just want you to be familiar with what a hijacker is, because so many get into people and people don't notice, and it gets carried all the way through. And well, obviously, I'm talking mainly about the feeders there, or the ones that aren't noticed. When you get to the attackers, you'll notice those. Those will come out full throttle on you. There's like no doubt. But they'll still cling to you till you're lifeless, as fast as they can make you lifeless. So basically what you've got to know is how to get rid of those hijackers. And that is what I want to continue on with in my next video. So I'm not leaving you in a dark place. Just want you to know that there's an answer, but I want you to be very aware that there's these kind of spirits out there. And, you can't deal with something you're not aware of. So this is tape number 1. This is the awareness part. And then let's look at some of the cure in the second video. So thank you very much for your time this afternoon. I'll be back with you very soon. And all of this comes from my heart to yours. I want to see your spirits excel. I want to see you get excited. I want to see you have your part in changing a corner of the world, a number of people, whether it be a handful or the thousands, for the better. And I wish you all the best, traveler. And I'll talk to you really soon. Bye-bye for now.